now might be a decent time for us to head over to Ilium because, well, we've so many missions to do there. One quick little mention I will make before we do so is, as I was just saying, there was that hidden timer that dictates when you will get the elusive man telling you that you need to go on that mission to Horizon. Then once he does that, you have no choice but to do that mission immediately. Let's just say that's not the only mission like that. I won't go into any more detail just yet, but let's just keep that in the back of your mind. So, that was Horizon. Actually, interestingly enough, we basically got instantly teleported there by the elusive man. We never actually saw it on our galaxy map here, so let's read up on it a little bit. Temperate world that has hit the sweet spot for carbon-based life. Horizon has a nitrogen-oxygen atmosphere maintained by abundant indigenous photosynthetic plants and bacteria. While the native plants are not very palatable to humans, the soil conditions are such that a handful of introduced Earth species have flourished, and the colonists must take strict care to prevent ecological disasters. Genetically engineered Terminator seeds that grow nutritious but sterile crops to minimize outbreaks are the rule rather than the exception. Animals on Horizon appear to be exploding in diversity, similar to Earth's Cambrian period. Large flying insect analogues take advantage of the thicker-than-Earth atmosphere and low gravity to grow enormous. Oh! No thank you. Microbial life has proven relatively benign. A series of vaccinations for the most virulent strains of soil-borne diseases is all that is required for a visit. Population is 500,000. And other than that, let's see, yeah, thicker atmosphere. It's, I suppose a little bit cool, 13 degrees Celsius, but assuming there's some seasonality to that, that's not bad. And yeah, a little bit lighter somewhat significant lighter gravity, in fact. That's like, what, Mars is 0.6, I think, so it's kind of close to Mars. But, okay. Let's see. So where is this? It's in a system that we've not yet explored. So, why don't we do that for a second here? Start on the outside, then work our way in. And of course, we'll take the mass relay to get out of here, but we have Watchman, perched on the outer edge of Lyra's... Lyra? I think it's an I. Lyra's small solar system. Watchman is a mid-sized rock and ice planet that has picked up a dozen moon-sized objects. Its nitrogen-oxygen atmosphere is too thin to support life, with solid ice covering its calcium-heavy rocky core. Footprints of the first surveying teams to come to the planet can still be seen in its practically airless surface. The planet, devoid of valuable resources, has seen few visitors since. I assume that means... kind of surprised it says moderate in terms of resources, but as we've been saying previously, I don't think we are going to be doing much of any scanning at this point, because we probably have more or less all the resources that we need at this stage. Maybe a tiny bit more, but we can probably wait and do that on an ad-needed basis. Then we Prospect. Prospect is a hydrogen-nitrogen gas giant with 13 known moons, most of which seem to have dense, heavy metal deposits on first scan, starting a resource rush by the colonists from nearby Horizon. In a tragic turn of events, a galactic uranium surplus drove half the mining firms out of business, and the surfaces of some moons are littered with bodies of executives who committed, suicide by airlock. Today's mining corporations have reached a much more palatable equilibrium and hold more diversified and sustainable portfolios. Prospect is within the frost line of its solar system, where ice giants do not normally form. For this reason, it is believed to have been an extrasolar capture. And, well, it has poor resources, perhaps because people have been harvesting it so much, or I suppose that's mostly the moons, but either way, definitely not doing anything there, and no anomalies, so nothing special to examine either. Whatever this planet is, it is roughly the same size as the star, so that's a little odd. Probably just a matter of perspective, but either way, Venture. A pressure cooker of a planet, Venture's thick nitrogen-based atmosphere is also the source of wealth for a small colonist industry. While Venture's high temperatures are brutal, primordial soup is not as acidic as on other hothouse planets, and xenon can be readily collected and isolated from the lower troposphere by recovery pods. This xenon is then sold for use in ion drives and some electric lights. Venture's gravity is relatively low for a planet of its size, making the recovery more economical than would otherwise be expected. Okay, yeah, 21 atmospheres of atmospheric pressure. It is a pretty thick atmosphere, as you were saying, and then still 2.9 Gs is not insignificant gravity, but let's see if we can find stuff here. It is rich. Suppose, given the description, that makes some sense, but, I mean, unless we've got, like, something that is absolutely amazing here. Probably not planning it like that's solid, but not completely amazing when it comes to the resources we would get from that probe. I think just about the only thing we might consider, like, that's good. That's great. And if we needed palladium, this is scale breaking. I was gonna say, if anything, I mean, I would have said, if anything, Element Zero would probably be the one that we'd get. Then again, I think we've established that we have been so aggressive with our Element Zero collection that we probably don't need any of that from here on out. That's not quite as good from Iridium, but it's solid. Either way, though, I think, as I was saying, probably not looking to actually get anything from almost any planet at this point, other than just anomalies. And the occasional resource scan if we find ourselves coming up short on something. But anyways, so that was the Shadow Sea cluster where we got randomly teleported by the elusive man after we learned about Horizon. But now that we've finished Horizon, you will also see that well, we've explored some of these systems. Oh, Calcin Rift we've not done in its entirety though. Not sure if we just missed one of the solar systems in here, or if there might be a new area that only becomes available to you after finishing Horizon. That may be the case. Hades Nexus, also not at 100%. That's a little bit odd. Phoenix Massing is still at 100. Far Rim is a new area that we've not yet seen, which does only become available after finishing Horizon. And this is where we will eventually be able to recruit Tally. So that is definitely a place where we're looking to go eventually. We have the Rosetta Nebula, another place that we've not yet been. That's where we have Jacob's loyalty mission, so we'll definitely be going there at some points. Titan Nebula, we have been there, and we've explored everything. Hourglass, done everything there as well. Same with the Eagle Nebula, and we've been here too. Ismar Frontier for, I think, Zai's loyalty mission. Then, this is why we were saying we probably want to go to Ilium, because as we can see from this list, we have Ilium, which you may be asking yourself, Lids, what the heck is Ilium? You hear all these references to it. Don't worry, we'll get there in just a minute. We can recruit the Justicar, recruit the Assassin, help Miranda, give Liara intel. Lots and lots of various things that we can do here. So, plenty of options if we are to go in this direction. And so, that's what I was thinking might be worth doing. So, let's head over there and check it on out. Okay, so we're through the mass relay, and here is Ilium. Question is perhaps, do we just focus on this system now, or before we actually land on Ilium, did we make a point of exploring the other neighboring systems? I think maybe we wait for that. I mean, there's a chance we might learn about other things in other areas, and only then would we want to make our move. I mean, we could probably still, if there are other side quests in other areas, we could still learn about them just by scanning anomalies, but, you know, we might learn more about them from talking to other people elsewhere first, and that might be helpful. So, let's start at least here with the outermost planet, that being Naxxel. Naxxel is an ammonia-methane ice giant. Several smaller energy corporations shut out of the big market in the Theia Gateway system are attempting to develop a local helium-3 fuel mining infrastructure to service Ilium. The leading investor is the human corporation Eldfell Ashland Energy. I don't think we've ever heard that name before. Their efforts have been hampered by the extra-legal pressure the H3 cartels in Theia system can bring to bear, from simple price undercuts to bureaucratic obstructions, denied permits, and constant health and safety inspections. Based on the quotations there, makes it sound like perhaps those aren't really health and safety inspections. There's a small population there, though. Alright, let's take a look at it. Scan it. It's moderate from a resource standpoint, but I think definitely not looking to do anything there in that case, especially with no anomalies. Do have a fuel depot. We are doing fine on probes, doing fine on fuel, so we are definitely okay with that. Do have this asteroid belt, which maybe that looks like that would, if anything, be the biggest thing there. Let's explore the other planets first. See if we are at 100%, and if not, then that's our telltale sign that there is probably something hiding in that asteroid belt. Next, we have Ponulus, a fairly typical Venetian hothouse. Ponulus seems almost tame compared to the violent volcanic outbursts of the inner world, Barragale. In contrast, Ponulus is nearly inert, with no active volcanoes or plate tectonics. The most dramatic event in the last million years was the foundering of the Asari Aerostat research platform Alviusik in 2092, which fell after being holed by an improbably unlucky meteor. That's a shame. Most of the crew successfully reached escape capsules, but 6 were lost. The crushed wreck of the platform now lies on the Kryusite Plain in the southern hemisphere. Okay. Yeah, it is quite hot. For a Venetian hothouse, that makes sense. Another rich one, and another one with scale-breaking palladium. Seems like we are seeing a lot of that in particular these days. Got a couple of scale breakers with that recently, but again, I mean, if we need the palladium, it looks like we'll definitely have ways to get it in the future. And even iridium, wherever that was, looked not quite as good, but well, I mean, if we get it here, that's pretty darn close to scale breaking as well. And so, yeah, you know, if we were very aggressive with our scanning earlier, and if we were a little pickier with that, we could have maybe been a little bit more efficient, and just made a point of not only scanning, or not just throwing probes anywhere we saw a rich planet, but specifically choosing rich planets that have huge deposits like that. Might have been able to save a few probe purchases that way, but either way, we got the job done, I think. Then we have Ilium. Don't think we'll land here just yet, but this will give you a sense as to what exactly is this place that we just keep on hearing about. Ilium is a classic garden world developed to serve as entrepot between the Terminus systems and the Asari republics. To abet this trade, the normally stringent customs laws of the Council space on product safety, prescribed materials, and sapient trafficking are relaxed. Sapient trafficking is relaxed? The rules for that? That sounds not good. Officially, Ilium is not an Asari world. It is colonized and operated by Asari corporate interests. Important distinction. This gives it the same legal latitude enjoyed by the human corporate research enclaves of Novaria. Of course, the place where we saw things happening in Mass Effect 1. Ilium is one of the youngest Asari colonies settled during the 7th expansion wave. The first child born on the world is only now reaching her middle age. Bear in mind, this is for an Asari, and Asari can live over 1,000 years old. So by middle age, you mean like it's about 500. So this colony here is about 500 years old, which is, I mean, I suppose, in the grand scheme of things, still relatively new. The world is hot and massive. Ground settlement is only possible at the higher polar latitudes. In more equatorial locations, the population is housed in archaeological skyscrapers to escape the heat of the surface. Okay, colony founded in 1617, so yeah, about 500 years ago or so that makes sense. Our estimate was correct. Then population on the surface is, wow, okay, about 85 million, so yeah, it's pretty big. And then they have some stations, I suppose, probably on moons there, and got a little bit there as well. Then in terms of, okay, you say it's a garden world, a place where, you know, in theory, you could set up a lot of people, as we have seen. It is a little bit thicker atmosphere. It is definitely hot, 63 degrees Celsius, so understandable that you'd specifically try to build your civilizations, your cities, and what have you, near the poles and at elevated latitudes where are elevated areas where it's just a little bit colder. And a little bit stronger gravity as well. Okay, so we can land here, but we will delay doing that just a little while longer. So I'd like to see what the deal is here. On Barragale, where we heard mention this previously. Apparently it is very active volcanically. While not a classical hothouse world like Venus, Verigale is scarcely more... Also, it's misspelled there, but Verigale is scarcely more hospitable. In addition to being closest to the star Tassale, its core contains many radioactives and other heavy elements. These increase the heat of the planets and drive volcanism. Verigale's crust is too rigid for plate tectonics to function, and the planet will go through cycles in which the pressure builds to a massive supervolcanic eruption. Wow, okay. These spew ejecta over thousands of kilometers, leave caldera 100 kilometers across, and spew enough molten material to repave entire continents. The last such event was 812,000 years ago. Current rate of outgassing from volcanic hotspots suggests another will occur within the next 10 millennia. And, yeah, I mean, as hothouses go, 232 degrees Celsius I think is actually not that hot. Let's try scanning it. I imagine it'll be rich. It is. And I'm guessing we might find another one that breaks the scale for at least something here. That's not that much. I mean, again, we're not really going to be actually launching probes here, but yeah. That's, is it as good as what we're seeing before? I mean, it's pretty darn good. That's pretty darn good. Again, it's just all palladium, though. So, certainly, if we were in need of that... Other source here... Not nearly as good, it doesn't seem, though. Yeah, if we were in need of it... That might be the same one we were looking at before, but, if we were in need of it, then we could find a lot in and around here, and, iridium does seem to be the second most plentiful, and that's not bad either. That supply. And I got... Yeah! That's not... Wasn't bad either. It's not quite up at the same level, but anyways, like I said, not actually looking to launch probes here, although certainly some good options. Also, we cannot exit. Now we can exit if we close our map. Okay. Was actually stuck, would not let us leave that planet. Can we leave the planet now? Now we can leave the planet. Okay. So I wanted to go there and see, after exploring all those planets, do we still get to 100%, or are we just at 80? If we're at 80, that would suggest that there may be something in this asteroid belt, or we just missed an obvious planet somewhere. I briefly looked around here a bit, but it seems like... Oh, that's just the fuel station. Is there something here? Or is it that we technically haven't scanned... We're not allowed to scan Ilium. So do we only get to 100% once we actually land on Ilium? Maybe? In which case, sure, let's do it. Alright. In terms of who we want to take here, I don't think it's gonna matter too much. So why don't we bring... I mean, Garrus is, of course, a recent addition. Let's go for him, in that case, and, who else have we not seen much of recently? I feel like we haven't seen much of Morden. Then, of course, Jacob and Jack have, not seen a lot of action either, although they tend to be the two we take on these missions where we say, we don't care too much who we're bringing, so why not bring the Jays? Let's go for Morden, though. I think it's been a while since we last had him. Then we did level up after completing Horizon, so that means we do have some skill points to spare here. And we are getting kinda close to the point where we can get to the squad incendiary ammo, which is something that I think we'd like to unlock fairly soon. We couldn't do it immediately, but we can get up to rank 3, which means we get an additional 10% fire damage. Otherwise, we're looking at pull 3, which increases our duration by a few seconds. And either way, both of them are good. It's a matter of, yeah, I think it's largely a matter of when do we want to make sure that we have this incendiary ammo ready to go by. Because, I think we might want to do this. Yeah? I think I'd like to just have the squad ammo as soon as possible at this stage. Because at this rate, we have pull, it's usable, it certainly could be better, especially if we got up to rank 4 and got pull field is what I'm thinking we'll probably do, for a large amount of crowd control. that would be significant, but I mean, we can't get up to that point now anyway, so let's go incendiary ammo, I think. Garrus? Huh? Is all leveled up? I would have thought he'd have gotten a few more points after the previous mission. Did we not level up since we last saw him? That's odd. It has been a while since we last used more than those, so he has several points to spare. I think we're still looking to go 0 cryoblast, so that means 100. Well, are we looking to go 0 cryoblast? Or neural. We might go 0 neural shock, actually. It's definitely incinerate is top priority. Why don't we go with our passives next in that case? Which means we won't quite have enough to go all out on Solarian scientists, but that may be just something we want to save up for. And that has us covered in that case. I don't think weapons are going to matter much here, and otherwise I think we're pretty much looking at our best options anyway. So, sure, let's get started.
Welcome to Nosastra, Commander Shepard. We've been instructed to waive all docking and administration fees for your visit. My name is Karina. If you need information about the area, it would be my pleasure to assist you.
Oh, she's Canadian. Maybe. Okay. Well, why do we get a free pass?
Who instructed you to waive the fees?
The order came from Liara Tassoni, who paid all fees on your behalf.
Very kind of her.
She also asked that I direct you to speak with her at your convenience. She's near the trading floor.
Okay. So, we are on the planet Ilium, but the city, Nosastra.
What can you tell me about Nosastra?
It's an exciting city. We see a lot of new cultures and goods because of our proximity to the terminus systems. At the same time, Ilium is still an Asari world. You should be as safe here as you would be on the Citadel. For your own safety, however, I recommend against signing anything.
What's that mean?
What's so dangerous about signing something?
Ilium is a free trade world, Commander. Contract term requirements are more relaxed here than on other planets. It's a small price to pay for keeping our competitive edge in goods from the terminus systems.
So, remember, terminus systems are basically the area of the galaxy that is the farthest away from the Citadel, the least, has therefore the least oversight from the Citadel, basically none, and is more or less the Wild West where all the crime happens. And, so, basically, the benefit that this planet and this city is kind of bragging about is that they're right on the edge between terminus systems and the Asari controlled space, which is actually, I mean, I can show you where that is on the actual galaxy map, but basically it's, if you look at it as a north, east, west, south, cardinal directions type thing, it is basically the westernmost, it's like west, slightly south part of the Milky Way, and this is right on the border between that and the northern half, which is basically the terminus systems. So they're basically saying we get all the benefits of the terminus systems because we get to partake in all the stuff that would be illegal elsewhere. So it helps for trade, although some of that trade is apparently slavery, as we were talking about, the whole human trafficking, or, well, of various varieties, perhaps, is still permitted, and I was saying, maybe that's the kind of thing where you'd want to still say, nah, not here. But, so they have that benefit, if you want to look at it that way, at least economically, and, they also have the benefit of being so close to the Asari-controlled space that, they have the stability, the more political stability, and, perhaps even, military stability that comes from having a powerful group of people not far away. Other than that, what's good around here? We're just tourists visiting for the first time.
Do you have any recommendations about what to do on Nosastra?
Our trading center is directly ahead. You'll find restaurants and shops nearby as well. I suggest you browse our shopping kiosks. You can find things on Nosastra that you can't find anywhere else in the galaxy.
Yeah, and that's why initially when we were talking about the Sarah's Ice Brandy quest to get the alcoholic beverages for Dr. Chakwas, I thought that we were only going to be able to get it here, which is why I kept on saying, I don't think we can do it yet. But as we obviously found, no, there was a way to get it. Actually, potentially several ways to get it before getting here. And this place obviously only becomes available to us after we've finished Horizon. But okay, speaking of trading...
You mentioned trading. What gets traded on Ilium?
Anything you can imagine, Commander. Ilium is a wonderful world for those who can afford it. In order to remain competitive as a Terminus systems port, we've relaxed many of the standards you'd find on other Asari worlds. Most drugs are legal, provided they are labeled properly. You can buy almost any weapon or technology. You can even buy indentured servants.
In other words, yeah, slavery. As I was saying, that's, if there was a place to draw the line, basically there's no rules. But, no slavery is not usually a bad rule. It's the kind of thing where you might have wanted to make that the one exception.
I can't believe an Asari world would allow slavery.
We try to avoid calling it slavery.
Yeah, I noticed that.
All indentured servants on Ilium have voluntarily agreed to a term of service. Most choose indentured service as a means to pay off debt or avoid imprisonment. A contract holder is responsible for the well-being of her servants, and a servant's duties are agreed upon before the contract is signed.
So it's slavery with a contract. Slavery with, in theory, helping you pay off a debt. So, okay, it's not like you're getting nothing in exchange for it, but you can see where things could go very, very wrong very easily with that kind of thing if, they just bend the little, I wouldn't even say rules, because again, no rules, but bend the societal norms on it a little bit and just say, well, maybe this time we just don't sign a contract. Alright, what about Liara? You said that Liara was the one that was paying for us, so what can you tell us about what she's been up to?
You said Liara was here? What's she doing?
Liara is one of Nosastra's most respected information brokers. Nosastra is based upon trade. Information is valuable currency, and Liara has done quite well. As I said, you'll find her near the trading floor. She was looking forward to seeing you.
Okay. So, maybe we can get the chance to talk to her later on. We are, however, looking for someone, actually, several people. Remember, we have 2 recruitment missions that are theoretically here on Ilium.
I'm on a mission. Can you help me find someone?
I can help you find major entertainment centers or stores. But I'm afraid I can't point you to individual people.
Okay,
Liara
yeah, that's
is
not
excellent
really
at
what
that
I'm looking
type of
for.
work,
Thanks.
However, I imagine she can help you.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
Again, welcome to our city, Commander. Please enjoy your stay.
Customs records indicated just a car named Samara is visiting this port, Shepard. Your former teammate, Liara Tassoni, may have more information. Her office overlooks the trading floor. You may wish to speak with her regarding the whereabouts of Thane Krios, the assassin on your dossier, as well.
So there you have it. We have Liara, who we can chat with potentially about recruiting Thane and recruiting Samara as well. So, could be very helpful to learn a little bit more from her. And we should be able to see a map here. So this is a hub world of sorts, much like the Citadel, much like Omega. So we have lots of people we can talk to, lots of things we can buy at shops, and lots of quests, as we've seen, of course, already. So let's carry on here and see what we can find ourselves. What kind of trouble can we get ourselves into?
A Batarian trading group has announced plans to sue the Citadel Council. The
Oh.
Batarians claim that slavery is an inextricable part of their caste system.
Oh.
And that by limiting the slave trade, the council is violating their cultural rights. The indentured
Oh.
servitude market closed down 3 points, with representatives decrying the unwanted controversy.
The indentured servitude market went down. There you have it. Yeah, I mean, they are quite literally, not only are they just casually, or not only are they privately trading slaves, they are publicly trading slaves as well. Or, as they are saying, we don't like to refer to them as that, we prefer to refer to them as indentured servants. That may be what you like to call them. But let's just say it's not a coincidence that that news announcement just said that the Batarians don't like the slavery ban, and the effect of that was that the indentured servitude market went down. Yeah, they say correlation doesn't mean causation, but on that occasion, I think it probably is the case. Oh? Chat with Garrus about the Vista. Alright, that is quite the look.
We were always
Quite
told
the
that
view.
Ilium is one of the safest places in the galaxy until you fell off the grid. Sign the wrong contract, join up with the wrong company, or walk down the wrong alley, and it's as dangerous as anywhere else. Don't let this place fool you. It's no safer here than Omega.
Yeah, and Garrus raises a good point. Obviously, Omega is like the hub of all things crime, but Ilium basically depends what kind of crowd you run with, because being on the border between the Asari space and Terminus systems means that, well, depending on who you're hanging out with, you're potentially getting the Terminus system crowd, in which case, as Garrus said, it could be just as bad as Omega, or if you're just getting the more wholesome type of, Asari interactions with people who are perhaps from the typical Asari-controlled areas, like their homeworld, then, maybe it's not so bad after all. Just gotta watch out for yourself, you know? Let's see, Galactic news, is this the same news we've heard on the Citadel, or will we hear new stuff here?
Fears of an uncontrolled plague in the streets of Omega have been laid to rest, as the disease is now under control.
Hey, we did that.
Charles Saraceno, leader of the Terra Firma Party and former Alliance Parliament candidate, has pled guilty to tax evasion. He is in custody pending sentencing.
I believe that is somebody from the Terra Firma party that we met in Mass Effect 1, the guy who was trying to get us to campaign for him.
Captain Hannah Shepard has apparently turned down an Admiral star and will remain in command of the Orizaba.
I think we've heard all this stuff before.
Admiral, a political ploy, and said that she could best honor her child's legacy by captaining a ship.
I believe we've heard all that stuff, so in that case, let's carry on.
25. Sell at 25.
No, you're not hearing me. I want to buy it up. Buy it all up.
Come on, give me something.
Okay. They're talking stonks. Buy them all. Anything else here? Oh, another Vista? Let's chat with Morton.
Asari building structure resembles hive. Tall buildings filled with drones. Curious social dynamic. Many queens competing for hive leadership. Odd feelings around Asari. Unfamiliar. Reminders of old fertility contract negotiations.
Oh. Well, that's one way to look at it, I suppose.
Excuse me, are you Commander Shepard?
Maybe. What's it to you?
You're Commander Shepard? I saw your... I guess you would say your aura. I'd recognize you anywhere.
Huh? It's a kind of weird
I was asked to
introduction.
give you a message if I saw you. It's from a friend you made on Novaria.
Oh. Yeah. Novaria, back in Mass Effect 1, where, we kind of killed Patriarch Venezia and everything, and a whole place that was secretly run by Saren. Yeah, who exactly was it?
I met a lot of people on Novaria. Could you be more specific?
I believe the message itself should make it clear.
Keep your
Shepard,
distance.
We hide. We borrow. We build. But we know that you seek those who soured the songs of our mothers. When the time comes, our voice will join with yours, and our crescendo will burn the darkness clean. Thank you, Shepard. The Rachni will sing again because of you.
Okay, so, in case you did not catch our Mass Effect 1 playthrough and have not played Mass Effect 1 yourself, yeah, don't worry about this, lady who clearly is being possessed. No, that's totally normal, as it turns out, for the Rachni, who are, of course, the species that everyone thought had gone extinct, but, we encountered the last remaining Rachni queen in Mass Effect 1 and had the choice of either killing her or setting her free and making sure that she promised she wouldn't, cause a galactic war like their species did not so long ago. So here she says, the Rachni will sing again, but it did say, I think, in poetic language, but did suggest that they are planning on fighting the Reapers as well. So, if you are gonna start back up your whole Rachni civilization, much rather you fight the Reapers than fight, any and everyone else in the galaxy.
How did you possess another Asari? You can't just take over people's minds like that.
Peace, Shepard. The Rachni Queen does not control my thoughts. That was merely the message I was asked to deliver. I encountered her on an uncharted world. She saved my life. More than that, she gave me a purpose.
Oh.
You're an amazing people, Shepard. The galaxy owes you a great debt for giving them a second chance.
Okay. A little alarming, nonetheless. A little alarming. Yeah, can you talk a little bit more about how exactly this encounter went down with the Rachni Queen?
How did you find the Rachni?
I was working as a courier. Pirates ambushed my ship, and I was forced down on an uncharted planet. I was badly injured, alone and near death. Then they found me. They saved me.
How exactly did you get back?
You obviously got off world again. Did the Rachni give you a ship?
No. Countless workers repaired my ship. It runs better now than it did before. They remind me of the Keepers on the Citadel in a way. All working together, each with a purpose.
Yeah, so the Rachni, again, just to fill in a little bit more in case you are unfamiliar with what they are from Mass Effect 1. They are a species of, technically, they're not insects, but they are a hive mind species. I don't think they're insects. Are they insects? They might actually be insects. They're a hive mind species that is usually quite numerous. They come in large groups, of course, run by the Rachni Queens, or at least the one that starts them. And then, although they may not be capable of interacting with people directly, they are in fact quite intelligent, and they are capable of creating spaceships even, and starting galactic war, as I was saying before, was previously a thing between, there was a Rachni called the Rachni Wars, in which caused a whole ordeal, nearly wiping out the entire galaxy of everything other than the Rachni. That is until the Krogan got involved, and everyone else basically set up the Krogan for success and gave them the tools necessary to wipe out the Rachni, seemingly, they thought, until we found that Rachni Queen. But, yeah, that's also how they're communicating through this Asari that we're speaking to right now, is, yeah, they can use them as a conduit to speak, even though they themselves cannot speak words directly. So, let's see. As for the pirates, though?
What happened to the pirates who attacked you?
They were obliterated, as they should have been. The Rachni are not aggressive, but they do what they must.
Okay. You did mention, you did mention that they gave you some newfound purpose in your life, but I feel like the overall meaning of the message is a little bit more important, perhaps, so let's start with that.
I got that she was grateful. What else was her message saying?
That the first Rachni war was a mistake. Something soured the voices of her people. In Rachni psychology, that would be like mind control, I think. It doesn't really translate. Anyway, she believes you are fighting the ones who did that, and she promises to help.
Does sound like she means the Reapers.
She thinks that the Reapers caused the Rachni War?
I can't say for sure, but she was certain that her ancestors were forced into war against their will. Her people aren't naturally aggressive. If they made war, it was not of their own doing.
And that is actually a very, very interesting point when you think about the history of everything that happened in the Milky Way galaxy in the Mass Effect universe, because that was a really significant event that happened. The Rachni Wars, like I said, nearly wiped out the entire galaxy, and because of that, the Solarians and the Asari, I don't know if the Turians were doing this at the time, but they quote-unquote uplifted the Krogan, basically brought them off of their home world that was, kind of a wasteland where it was hard for them to do much other than kill and be killed. So after they got taken off that, then suddenly the Krogan population multiplied like crazy. They started to become out of control, and that was why the genophage got developed and deployed. And obviously we know the genophage is another really big factor, but, you know, if you remove one piece of the puzzle, if you remove the Rachni, then that means the Krogan never would have been uplifted, never would have had the genophage developed or deployed, or at least it would have happened, you know, in a totally different circumstance, you know, who knows how much later on. And so, basically, all of the most important things that happened in the galaxy would fundamentally change if the Rachni War did not take place. And so if the Reapers were the ones behind that, instigating the Rachni to start the war, then, well, that's a big deal. That's a big deal. So anyways, lastly though, as for this newfound purpose that you have, what exactly is it? Are you gonna now just be a full-fledged diplomat between the Rachni and everyone else?
You said the Queen gave you a purpose. What do you mean?
The Queen shared her song with me as I recovered. I saw the Rachni as only an Asari could. They are so beautiful and so vulnerable. They needed someone to purchase things they cannot make themselves. Someone to work within the system. An agent, if you will. I am happy to help. My life as a courier was empty and shallow. Now I'm helping a great race rebuild itself.
That does really sound like you have been drinking too much of the Rachni Kool-Aid. You know? You just, talk about mind control, what have you. It really sounds like... And you said you're not being mind-controlled right now, but it does kind of sound like it.
You were really comfortable walking away from your old life?
You're concerned that the Queen is controlling me.
Yeah.
I understand, but
Yep.
it doesn't work like that.
You sure about
Our
that?
minds were in perfect harmony. I saw their beautiful spirit and their need. I knew what I had to do. If some part of that is suggestion, then it was a side effect from their efforts to save my life. I am happy.
Alright. Okay. I mean, certainly very interesting to see what the consequences were, or at least get a better understanding of what ended up happening, because that was, in many ways, one of the most significant decisions that we made in Mass Effect 1. But, looks like that's all, so I suppose thanks for the message?
Thank you for giving me that information. I'm glad my friend in Noveria is doing well.
Be well, Commander Shepard. You will not see me again.
Alright, you got, more Rachni to hang out with. Okay. So, that was interesting and unexpected.